Hi everyone, lesson 4 focuses on real-world personalization at scale. After 3 sessions with great insights on the foundations, we are now diving into best practices and use cases from our Tealium customers. Jerome and Nico from Vodafone Germany will start with sharing how breaking down data silos with Tealium's customer data platform, our CDP, enabled them targeted, personalized experiences and really impressive results.
Yeah, we as Vodafone want to talk about what we do with Tealium and how we create amazing results. But for that, we don't first want to do a small icebreaker. And I think all of you have a phone. I don't think nobody has no phone. So please take it out and scan this nice QR code and open the website. If it's correct, and the internet is doing it, you will come to our corporate website, and I think a lot of you will get a cookie banner or consent banner. Please accept it, because if you don't, we are not allowed to do any good marketing with you. So if you have accepted it, please do your phone back. I come back later why you had scanned this QR code. But before we go into really amazing results, we want to first talk about a little bit about why Vodafone choose to start with a CDP, and why Vodafone is using and utilizing the CDP more and more in the last years. I think if you look at this nice chart with all the names and buzzwords, this was something 3.5 years ago that all these words came up as something that makes sense to start with a CDP. So zero-party data, what already Uli talked about, first-party data, real-time, cookieless, digital customer, 360 view of a customer. And also Vodafone as a company, as a whole, also thought about, hey, this is good for all the markets to start using a CDP. So we made a big request for proposal and chose Tealium to start with us to build a customer data platform, and for us specifically in Germany, in the German market. And yeah, all those buzzwords, I think they all came true. And for us to start with the CDP, we started with 4 main capabilities. And those 4 main capabilities were for us the reason and the start to get CDP running here. And I go through them shortly, one by one. The left top one, the own media personalization, yeah, that's a famous one. I think everyone knows that if you are on the website of a large company like Vodafone, then a lot of banners and interaction are personalized. And we do that now with audiences from the CDP. The same for the second on the top, the paid media personalization. That was then using the same or similar audiences to go to retargeting, targeting, and such stuff. And the top ones are really about our existing customers. So because we have a lot of customers and we want to be sure that they stay customer. Therefore, we have also a third main use case, that was prospect targeting. That was in the past more difficult because you don't have a lot of information, you only have cookies. And now we slowly also get for prospect personalization more and more data and information in the CDP, where we can create audiences on. And we come later with the first use case that we established, that was for prospect personalization. And last, and also what Uli already said, AI, machine learning, was a key thing that we want to establish a CDP and use all the data that we gather with the CDP for machine learning capabilities. And all of that because we see the CDP as a heart. You see it's a Vodafone style, but it is left as a heart. Personalization is a key enabler for success, and the customer data platform is the central enabler. Yeah. So we really positioned the CDP in our existing MarTech stack, connected all the dots, and started doing the personalization and starting to share data, create data, and build new use cases. Yeah. Then I give over to Nico.
Thank you, Jeroen. So I will cover the how part, so how we got all the technology from CDP and Tealium up and running at Vodafone, because we think it might be also interesting for you guys if you still not having a CDP technology in your corporation. There were like 4 elements who were really, really important for us to get this technology in place. First, of course, and most importantly, the team. So, as you might have learned already, the CDP technology is quite a complex technology. So you have a lot of different data sources, data destinations, in between, you're enriching data. And also there are a lot of different touch points with data stacks, technologies, and so on and so forth, and that's and so forth. And that also applies regarding the different teams you are touching within a company. And that's why we thought a cross-functional team consisting of very different and roles within Vodafone Germany might be a very good idea. And I think as heterogeneous as possible is also a good idea, because given the fact that you have really a lot of data you can work with, that also means that there's a huge potential of different ideas, but no one is able to cover all these ideas. So it's also a very good idea to have a lot of different people in that topic, just simply to collect ideas for new use cases or business cases. The second component was the operating model. We didn't want to invent a parallel structure. It's not working in a big company like Vodafone, and that's why we, right from the beginning, try to ensure that we are incorporated in the existing target operating model of Vodafone. That's really essential, because at a certain time you need also resources from IT development and so on, and that's not working if you are having a parallel stream. You don't get any prioritization within the company, so that's also a very important component. Then we implemented a steer course on a regular basis. Of course, you have to present a business case. You need decisions from the senior management. At a specific point of time, you also need funding. Sometimes you need guidance. You have to prepare scenarios from a financial perspective, but also from a strategical perspective. And for all that kind of topics, you need the commitment of the senior management. And that's what we did and ensured by implementing a regular steer course with our senior management. And last but not least, I think that's also a very important topic. It's the evangelism part, because a CDP technology is not that easy to understand, especially for marketeers who are doing the fancy social media stuff, for example. Yeah, it's kind of techy, like you already learned. And so it's very important to do the evangelism within your company. And the bigger the company is, the harder the evangelism part is, because it's really time consuming, but it's absolutely necessary, because you would like to convince the people of the advantages of that technology on the one hand side, and on the other hand side, you also want to collect ideas from them, because those colleagues are working on a daily perspective on personalization use cases. And that's always a very good input for the CDP in order to get these kind of use cases also up and running automatically with our technology from Tealium. That's just an example of how a team operating a CDP could look like. So that's our current setup. We always aim for keeping it flexible. It's not like we recruited new roles specifically for the implementation and operation of the CDP team. It was more like that we were looking on existing roles within our company and kind of sent them into that squad. So also, like I mentioned already before, that to cover that cross-functional part within the company, and to also create a kind of a buy-in of different departments, because they are all sending their specialists and experts into that CDP team. That's the current setup, especially at the beginning. So if you start implementing a CDP technology, we also recommend to put a bit more focus on the IT and technology roles, because you at the beginning, you also have to do a lot of stuff regarding development, coding, and also together with the IT department. So I would say it's a good best practice to also include them and the solution design architects and so on at the very beginning to get the data connectors up and running. And later on, you can more focus on the operational parts, like, for example, the CDP operator, which are building audiences for new use cases, doing tests with different audiences, and so on. Regarding the future, we would like to follow this stairway. At Vodafone, we are still following the MarTech strategy to be flexible and composable. So we are more looking like pick and choose the best-in-class tools for a specific topic or reason, such as web analytics, tag management, multi-touch attribution, things like that. So we would like to stick to that path. And we think that the solution we have with Tealium is really optimal for that approach. And of course, we are still working on building infrastructure around it. Some of the infrastructure we have, we will see later in our use cases, but this flexibility means also that you are able to connect, for example, your own data infrastructure. So we have a specific data infrastructure for digital data at Vodafone, hosted by AWS, and so that's also something you can connect to the CDP, and that's also something which is never ending because we still have a lot of data, and there will also, I'm sure there will also be new data. We would like to connect to that infrastructure, and at the end of the day also to the CDP. And then also internally, we would like to get connected with more and more people. At the beginning, we are now focusing on the consumer and commercial part for CDP, but the technology itself, you can also use it for service purposes, for example. Yeah, so it's a huge variety of use cases you can cover, but still there's something we have to start with, and that's the commercial consumer part at the moment. But later on, that's also something we would like to maybe do in the future to also have other use cases covered. So now we come to the what part, and I think I hand over again to Jeroen.
Yeah, we come to the what part, or better said, the amazing results. One of our amazing results is that with the CDP, we finally broke down silos. I think a lot of you who works in digital marketing a longer time knows that all marketing tools, and definitely in the digital tools, they are a lot of times in silos. You can't get that easily to the rest of the company, the rest of the company systems where all the specialists are and all the data scientists are. So one of our main achievements is that we enabled with the Tealium CDP in the middle all the digital data, so clickstream data from our web, the clickstream data from our app, and all that data towards Tealium CDP, and have it distributed to all our other channels, and definitely the channels on the top part. Also, Nico already mentioned it: the Google Cloud Platform and AWS. That is where our data scientists are, because why bring the data from them to a tool in the digital part? Now bring the digital data to the really rich data that we have as a company already, as a big company as Vodafone, and that's one of our key and amazing results. In other way displayed, we call this in Vodafone the martini glass. Maybe you can recognize it. It's like a glass with a foot as a base, and you see on the left side the own media channels, on the right side the paid media channels, in the middle the Tealium, and on the below the whole basis of all our customer and big rich data that we have from our customers and from all the systems that we have in Vodafone. And we distribute with the CDP towards those systems, but also distribute it back here. I think that's one of our main achievements, and based on this we have built a lot of use cases. One of the use cases is personalization at scale, and now I'm coming back to that. You scan that nice QR code. If you now open your the your phone and go to the homepage of Vodafone.de. So just type Vodafone.de. And if you have accepted cookies before, then it should be that you get a nice overlay or a pop-up that says that you are welcome in our masterclass, and also can click through to the masterclass series that Tealium hosts. So hopefully all of you can see it. If you can't see it, it could be that you're already a customer, and therefore you could be prioritized with other campaigns, because this is only one campaign that we run, but we run multiple ones. And as next, I want to show you in a video one of the campaigns that we really started with. So this is the launch campaign when we started the CDP in Vodafone. This is the first campaign or first use case that we brought live. It is about, if you go to the website from Vodafone, do an availability check, you get a result like DSL or cable, and that result is later than if you go to the homepage, again personalized on the homepage. And I'll click on it, and then a video should run, and you should get sound. And you see that I just accepted cookies. Now go to the availability check page. Check my availability for Giga zu Hause 1000. Unfortunately, that's not available, but as an alternative, now it's coming. As an alternative, I have DSL, 250 DSL. To another page in our DSL part, and also this page shows that I have as an option on my address a DSL internet 250 Mbit. If I now go back to the home page, it goes really fast, but now on the top one you see a personalized banner that tells that this customer, this visitor could buy this connection. And that was one of our first launch cases that we used. And these ones, we have a lot of them on our webpage running. So gathering the data with the CDP, building audiences, using the attributes from your 360 profile, and then putting it back into our targeting engine and displaying your amazing banners. A second one, we call it CDP return feeds. This is a customer-based campaign, and the CDP return feeds is a way that we can send back data to our decisioning engine for existing customers. We have a huge decisioning engine that does a lot of calculation about what an existing customer can buy and should buy as first and has the highest priority to buy. And now we enable the case that we send back the cart abandonment. So if you get to the web page, you put something in your cart as an existing customer and don't order online, then this information, including the cart deep link, is sent to our campaign system, and that campaign system sends out an email 24 hours later, so that then you get back to the home page or to the Vodafone page or directly in the shopping cart, and then can still buy that phone. And both campaigns, this one and the previous one that we have, you see 10 to 30% uplift. As all of those campaigns, what we do is we have a 10% control group that runs in the same audiences but doesn't get those personalizations, and we see that that control group has a much less conversion rate than the other part that gets the personalization. And then as a third and bigger use case that we lately, since a few months have live, it's a propensity to buy case, and then I'll give a word to Nico.
Thank you. If you remember the machine learning part at the very beginning, one of the main capabilities, that's exactly covering the machine learning part we implemented with the CDP. So what we did is we built a model, a propensity to buy model. We have our internal data scientists who really love to work in their infrastructure. So in our own environment, they love their code and they love building and training models. And that's basically what they did regarding the probability, how likely a user is to buy. We came up with a value of 67% probability of a purchase or conversion 1 hour in advance. And not saying that this is a very good or benchmark value, it's simply our value we decided we want to work with. It's also highly depending on your business model, on your data structure, so it's not really something you can apply for any other company. But you will see later that this already created amazing results. But the approach is pretty simple, and I think you also understand that the model is first of all collecting the different data touch points in our digital experience. So we have web tracking implemented. Obviously, if you give the consent, we are able to exactly track what the user does. And of course, if a user goes on the self-service sections, it's not a high probability that he will buy something because he's looking for a service concern or something, I don't know, billing, whatever. But if a user goes to a product page and maybe also putting something in the cart, that's already, I think, like a hard indication that he's really a prospect and looking for a product or a purchase from Vodafone. And then in the end, of course, the conversion happens. And this is how the model is built. It's a random forest model, if you're interested. And we are using now these scores for a omni-channel use case, because we also have a lot of different channels at Vodafone, and the colleagues are always interested to do the omni-channel part, to cover also the omni-channel part. And they would like to participate on the competence we have in the digital department, and that's a nice example for it, because here we combine our digital experience with the experience in telesales at Vodafone. But therefore, you have to know that if you are on our homepage or on our web page and you are browsing on product pages, we always offer a user the possibility to make a call. So, for example, if he's not understanding the product or he has some detailed questions regarding the product, and he's not really daring to buy something online, we show him also a very specific sales hotline number. It's individualized with a partner we have, so it's connected to the ID of a user. And if he doesn't want to purchase online for some reason, we also offer the opportunity that he can call the telesales hotline. And we now use the propensity to buy model to prioritize the waiting queue on the telesales channel. It's like, you know, you are on the airport. There are always the VIPs who are able to go to the fast lane check-in. That's basically what we do with the users who are high likely to buy, and it worked pretty well, because you can see that we increased the conversion rate of the users with a high propensity to buy by more than 50% on that hotline. That's really cool, because you have to know that the hotline itself is always still a bit diluted by calls of users who still have different purposes. So they are still looking for service concerns, or they have a problem with the billing. So it really helps to focus on the sales part for that specific hotline. And we thought it was a really amazing result and very surprising that we created such an uplift only by using this propensity to buy model. And of course, you can apply this propensity to buy model for a lot of different things. And that's already the next part we would like to focus on. But before that, I think Jeroen will also cover or show you how the actual setup looks like for that propensity to buy approach.
Yeah, really short. We want to also show the real schematic, how the propensity to buy model consumes data. And it is in 3 parts. I think it's the same parts that Uli also showed. On the left, the data collection, on the middle, the data orchestration, on the right, the data infrastructure from Vodafone, where we send all the data. But what comes into play here is all the parts that CDP makes in the equation that we have. So we have on the left the first-party data that we collect. We send it in the Tealium profile. We store it there in real time, then send it over in real time in the click stream to our propensity to buy model. And every 10 minutes, that model gives back a score in the CDP and sends us back into the front end, so that the unique phone number that is generated by Mattel then gets those audiences, and then can, if the user calls, then gets a prioritized lane. One thing that is on the bottom, and that's a little bit the breakdown of a silo. All the silo data from years or years of web analytics data, we also have sent over into our model, and the model was trained on that. So it's not trained on real-time data, but it's trained on historical data, and the real-time data is being used now to calculate every 10-minute scores. And so therefore we have a completely 360 view, because at the end, everything what happens on the page and happens in the call centers also is tracked again towards that unique user, and we can see those uplift what Nico just showed here.
Yeah, and last but not least, we have a couple of recommendations also for the future. I think I will cover the first thing, that's learning by doing. Of course, you have to ensure a proper decision of implementing or going for a CDP technology. But when we did this a couple of years ago, the technology was still kind of new in the market, and that's why it's very important at a certain point of time that you start implementing it and start working with the technology, because nothing substitutes the operational experience you are making when implementing a technology like this. So that's something we strongly recommend, not to discuss too much before you start. You have to start as soon as possible, because there will be a big learning curve once you are initiated this project.
Yeah, the second takeaway, a fool with a tool is still a fool. It's a nice sentence that comes from, I think, the 7 principles of digital marketing. Don't be fooled by a system that you think that you can easily do. No, but choose a skilled team, choose a skilled vendor, and choose a skilled partner to do it together. Yeah, so build the team around it, and do it like a Formula 1 team. So it works with a great driver, but it works better with a great team. And that's definitely something to take away if you work with a CDP.
Third part is stakeholder management. That's very essential if you are doing it the way we did, regarding for example, sending colleagues into our CDP squad, because you have to explain the advantages to the other team leads, why he should send an employee in that squad. Why does it make sense? What does the CDP? Why is it a good idea? You also have to listen carefully to their concerns, and also listen carefully to the marketeer and business people regarding their new ideas for audiences, for use cases, for personalization, whatever kind of case they have, because it's a huge potential you have, like the swarm intelligence within your company, and that's why it's absolutely important to cover this stakeholder management and evangelism part in your company.
Yeah, and the final takeaway is it's easier said than done. I think that's also a nice one to say about, we are also talking about what we've done, but it's easy to talk about it, but doing it is hard work, and stay dedicated, choose the right people, and keep working on it, and convince people not to talk about it, but convince people by doing the stuff. Just build it, show it, and convince them that you can do more, and find the proper ways of establishing and rolling out such technology.
Inspiring session from Vodafone, really showcasing personalization powered by robust data strategies. Don't forget to apply today's learnings in your homework and tune in next time as we explore data ownership with Rauman Auto Group.